this is the area that our club covers, and I know we have some new people tonight. So if you're new, you've never been, would you just raise your hand so we can see how many new people we have? Fabulous. Okay. Would anybody like to tell us why you came? If we go ahead, stand up. I'll bring you the microphone. Oh, okay.
So not sure if everyone's aware, but RSM is trying to take away our local Boys and Girls Club. And so the Canyon Dems have been doing so much to help us with that. And I just want to thank you guys. And so I want to be able to help others when they need it, they do. Thank you.
I know your focus group lead is going to talk about it later in the meeting, so that's a good introduction. Okay.
Why don't you hear from these people over here?
All right, somebody.
Say it again.
I did it. They're
Yeah.
all-
All right.
You wanna know?
We want to know how you ended up.
How did you find out about it? Well, we march and do everything now for years and years. We want to get organized and get involved early on.
Okay.
So I recruited my mom and her cousin and my other cousin and my friend from high school and my friend and
Good. Well, we're very happy to have you here. Thank you very much for coming.
I think you get the award for bringing the most number of people.
We're on the membership committee right away. Right away. Okay. So would you all please join Linda and lead us?
Ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All. So, I always have a little something about what's going on the calendar. So we have Earth Day coming up on April 22nd, and I know we're gonna talk about our Earth Day booth, later on, and find out how much money, Patty managed to earn the club this last weekend. And also Passover begins on the 23rd at sundown.
22nd at sundown.
22nd at sundown.
Monday night.
That's what happens when you have a shit, so do the slide.
I have those books.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to let you visit for a while because we have a candidate coming to speak at 7 o'clock. If she gets here early, we'll put her on early. But we want to give you a chance to look at all the stuff on your table. We will be talking about the pancake breakfast later. Let me just say a little word about the Palooza. There's some colorful half pages there. It's a fundraiser for the Mission Viejo Library. And I want everybody to buy a lot of purses because right now all of them are in my house because my sister is running a sale. Thousands of purses are in my house. And I want to get them out of there. You have no idea. Yes, they are taking more, but quickly. Yeah. I mean, I would get them turned in like tomorrow or the next day because they're going to quit collecting them. Okay, so go ahead and visit with the people at your table. Are there any other general questions we can answer? If you haven't done so, look at the plant sales and the bird houses. That's left over from our sale this weekend and buy some.
We still have pizza.
And we still have some pizza, so help yourself to seconds. And I know there's probably drinks there too. And we'll get underway with our speaker, who's hopefully going to be here soon. Dom Jones. Yes. Gary is the former chair, which I will be former in January.
Okay, so there's a, Drinking Liberty every first Thursday of the month in person. But also, if you don't know, if that's not enough for you, I have an online presence as well. Every other Thursday, we gather online. So if you want to join that, go to drinkingliberty.org. There's a drop-down list. So you look for the one for Rancho Santa Margarita. You put your email address in there, and you'll be given a link to the Zoom every week. There you go.
You don't actually have to drink, it's just a social gathering. It's on Zoom. You want to do the consent agenda? I have to get through that. I will do it. I better, thank you, Jim. Okay, folks, I do need your attention for just a little bit. All right, we have an agenda. We do very little business at these meetings. Hey, you guys, come on, be nice. Be nice. Okay, you have an agenda on your table. Everything we're gonna do tonight is on there, and we take care of everything in one vote. So we have what we call consent items. That includes the agenda, establishment of a quorum, the general meeting minutes from the last meeting, and the motion to adjourn. So we're gonna move to adjourn before we actually start the meeting. And the treasurer's report. So let me quickly show you the treasurer's report. We're doing very well. For those of you who don't know Ken, raise your hand. Ken is our treasurer. We are both a federal and a state PAC, a political action committee, which requires that we report to the state and to the federal, the Fair Political Practices Commission and FE's Federal Elections Commission. Two of them. Okay, we will vote on all of these at one time unless somebody wants to have a discussion of one of these items. So is there anybody who wants to take up a discussion of any of these items? Great. Okay. I'm gonna start a comedy routine for a moment. Okay, so the only people who get to vote are people who are what we call mixed, members in good standing, and it's the honor system. So all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. All right, so you can now turn this over, and on the back is the information about one of our next big events, which you will be hearing more about in shortly. Okay, so and we're waiting for Dom Jones to show up. So do you want to come and talk about the pancake breakfast? We did a pancake breakfast 8 years ago. And it was very successful, and we flipped the house after that. That was when we had the blue wave. So we're hoping if we eat pancakes again. It'll work. Whatever works.
There's a definite connection there, store. So, our pancake breakfast is going to be on May 8th from 9 to 11 here. 18. And the room is gonna be room B, which is the bar room, when you go down the hall, when you first come in and make a right. So we can open up the doors to the outside, which will be nice. We're going to kind of have a first hour, more or less, people coming and getting their food, and we're going to have discussion questions on each table. So, whoever you sit with, come introduce yourself, kind of share your story, ask what their story is. if it's somebody new, maybe it's somebody who's never done anything political before. We don't want to scare them away. We don't want to make them think it's hard and scary. But you can just share some of the things maybe that you've been involved with in the club. And then Louise is going to be doing a presentation at about 9:45, 10-ish, depending on how things roll along. A little bit about Dems, and then basically some talking points. And everybody that's coming is going to be getting I call it a gift bag, but Louise says it's not a gift bag. It's an envelope,
It's a power envelope.
a power envelope.
Blue power envelope.
And which will have in it talking points. So if they go and they want to talk to their neighbors and discuss things, they will have some information in their hands to do this with. So and then we're going to have all the committees, they're going to have tables spread around the edge of the room. So then if they are interested, they can go over and talk, find out more about something that they might be interested in and ask questions of that committee person and sign up if possible. So right now, the only thing I am really overwhelmed. I put out a little call for help and I've got 95% of the help I need. I really only need 1 or maybe 2 more people to help that day, kind of in the kitchen, just, stirring up pancake mix and making sure that things are taken out to the table. And I need probably 1 or 2 more like electric warming trays, because we're gonna have some stuff like the sauce, and then I need somebody, we're pre-cooking the sausages at home. It will save us a ton of work in the kitchen. So right now I have Connie Hughes making some, but I think Connie's gonna need some help cooking 400 sausages. So if anybody would like to do a bunch of, just sausages the night before that morning and bring them in and we'll warm them up there and put them on a warming tray, that's the other job I need. And I probably need a couple more warming trays too. So besides that, everything is pretty well done. So if you can help in any of those capacities, that would be great. And just let me know tonight sometime. And if you have questions about it, I can't say it's free, but we are accepting donations. So we'll have a couple donation jars around. And the little flyers, I'm encouraging you, if you have a neighbor, if you know of a Dem that lives on your street that doesn't belong to our club but might be interested, pass them out. If you have a coffee shop that's a little liberal, you might want to ask if they have a bulletin board where you could stick it up and, advertise us. And any places you can think we can advertise, stick that, stick a flyer up there. And we'll be having a big flyer too. Oh, yeah, big flyer on your table in the back. Yeah. You could go home and Xerox that one off.
Somebody's in the back has a hand up.
Yes, Sally.
Are you gonna advertise this to the general public?
That's what we're trying to do.
So, are they for Democrats only or what?
Well, I mean, we love MPPs, and if, I'm not gonna
If
turn
they come in
Republicans
with
down if you really
MAGA,
want
I'm
their
gonna have a
pancakes,
hard
but.
time controlling myself.
That's
a
the
good
guy,
show, by the way.
the guy at the desk actually suggested that we put it on the bulletin board here up on the corner, but I don't think they're gonna ever even approve that when they see who's sponsoring it. We can't exclude anybody from coming in, but obviously we want like-minded people there.
Yeah.
And MPPs, there's so many people out there, that's.
Especially young people.
Yeah, anybody who has family friendly, we're gonna have crayons and coloring pages for the kids, keep them occupied. So, if people wanna bring their kids or their grandkids, that's a good thing to do also, yeah.
Another
Okay.
hand.
Yes, yeah.
It's on the
It-
scroll. It
It's
is
on the scroll
at the top.
scroll that goes across the screen, and sometimes it says membership, you have to wait a second. And then it'll go across, it'll say pancake breakfast, right, and then you can click on there,
Yeah,
right.
it's on the
yeah.
scroll.
Okay, any other questions? Yes,
It says you have to RSVP by.
well, I'm doing the shopping, so I kind of wanted sort of a clue about how many I'm shopping for. That's why I put that there.
Do you have to RSVP?
You can come without RSVP, yes. I always buy for more, but I want, If I have 75 people RSVP by then, I'll know, you know.
People
my
don't
problem.
even RSVP for weddings. What do you expect? You know?
It's organic.
It's real maple syrup next to it.
Yeah, and if you're really worried about it, bring your own.
We will have gluten-free pancakes.
Yeah, and larger.
Sugar-free syrup.
No.
You want me to scan this and put it on?
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, we did things a little out of order, but that's okay. We're flexible. So one of the things we're doing, between now and the election is inviting candidates to come and talk to us. And I think you can all see that Don Jones has joined us. So, do you want to introduce Dom or just let her cut loose?
She needs an introduction. Yes.
You can do it right there.
Okay, hey, everybody. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello, fellow freedom fighters, fellow Democrats. We have a real Democrat with us tonight, Don Jones. I can't think of anything she hasn't done. Member of our Central Committee, an entrepreneur in Huntington Beach, runs Propel Cycle, which is a premier fitness studio on the coast. A member of the United Nations Association, governmental ambassador, vice president, West Orange County Democrats, founded a group called, Democracy, senior moment, forgive me, which has enabled many women to get involved in politics and other such things. A humanist, a peace lover, a fighter. With no further ado, I give you our candidate, the woman in the arena who will get things done, Don Jones, our 72nd Assembly District candidate.
Okay. And thank you, Canyon Democrats, for having me here. Thank you, Louise, for bringing me here. It's a pleasure to be here with you. So yes, I am your candidate in those cities here, and that includes you. And if you were able to vote this March 5th, you would have voted for me. Raise your hand if you voted Don Jones. Oh, yes, we have a crew in here. Give yourself a hand for doing that. Thank you, guys. Yes, yes. Okay, so I want to give you some fantastic news, because what I'm going to do with you right now is I'm going to take this very important time to discuss with you what we've done, what's happening in South OC, and what we're doing on the coastline. My district covers from west to east, Seal Beach, Huntington Beach, Newport Beach, Laguna Beach Stop, Laguna Woods, Hills, Aliso Viejo, the southwest corner of Mission Viejo, and Lake Forest as well. This area is very, very important. This area is one of the top most prominent areas in all of the United States. And in this last March 5th election, Team Don Jones for Assembly won handedly Laguna Beach. We won 52%, thank you. We won 52% to 48%, and we also won Laguna Woods as well. We won Laguna Woods by 220 votes, okay? So let's talk about this for a minute. People are often asking me, Dom, you are clearly not the orthodox candidate, if you can't tell. But the thing is that in this community, they are hungering for something different. In the last District 72 race, when Judy Mancuso ran against Diane Dixon, who's been sitting there now as the current incumbent, it was very important that the race was run a certain way. We didn't see that, and this is what it is. As a Democrat and as Democrats, we stand on our principles and our values, equality, justice, women's rights. All of these things are very important to us. However, in this race on this district, where we have a +2 Republican area, we have to run this race more towards the what? Oh, okay, I got some politically activated people here. Towards the middle. In order to do that, I can't run this race as far left. Now, if you can't tell, I'm such a liberal, but I am someone that understands conservative principles. Ted was so nice to give you a little bit of a precursor to who I am. I'm also an ordained minister. I was a missionary for 13 years. I speak fluent Vietnamese. I have my own TV show. I am the United Nations Government Affairs Ambassador for all of Orange County. And I've been able to do all these things because I love to serve and I love people. Now, the reason why we won in Laguna Beach 52 to 48% is because of our message of unity and reason. Now, let's listen to this. But listen to this, economic prosperity. Right now, on the Orange County coastline, we are suffering from a lot of oil spills. Okay, we just had our second oil spill in less than 2 years in Huntington Beach. Many of us own property. Raise your hands if you own property along in the area, okay? If you do, you will understand the concept of property values. If you constantly have oil spills in your community, what happens to your property values? They go down, exactly. And that is actually what is beginning to happen in our area. It's because we don't have more environmentally sustainable barriers in place to protect our environment. It's because of the 1970s oil derricks off the coastline that are still there, and that's why we had that oil leak. And it's because currently our representation, Diane Dixon, really does not care about that, okay? She is there, and most of her money comes from real estate. And that leads me to my next point of affordable housing. It's a big problem right now in our area. People who have had their children here, their children are being priced out of the area, okay? Her investment is to make sure that her stakeholders have how do you want to say, have a horse in the race. So make sure that we don't allow affordable housing and developments to come here and developers to come here. Keep this area for the wealthy so that those who don't have as much income and means can't live here. That is something that we have to stop because that's part of the problem with not having an equitable circumstance for everyone across the coastline. Also, I want to tell you something else. I am someone that stands firmly for the LGBTQ community, and this is why. They are being handedly attacked by the far right, okay? They are being attacked for being different, the trans community. They're being attacked for living their truth, for not living their lives and looking like what people think is the status quo or what should be, okay, or a stereotype. We need to protect these communities. We need to look after them. We need to honor them, and we need to stand up as Democrats. Do you agree with me? Yes, yes. And here in South OC, this is what we're doing. What I have done, I'm a business owner, is I have devised something. I've been in politics now for about 3 years. I didn't expect to be. Lord knows I didn't try to be. And the thing is this, what I've devised is 4 different hubs. We call them the Dom Care Hub structure. In each hub, there are different components and different aspects that lead to a winning campaign in that area. In South OC, Ted, along with Nancy and Arette and a number of others, they compose our Dom Care South OC hub. What we have been doing and how we won Laguna Beach and Laguna Woods is making sure that the clubs are working with us. Laguna Woods has worked so closely with us. The Laguna Beach Democrats, I'm speaking with them tomorrow, are working so closely with us. And we want you all, my beautiful Kenya Democratic family, to work with us as well. Listen, I know very well, and I want to state the obvious. I know many people are not used to someone in this area who looks like me. I understand. You know why I say that, by the way? Because I want to take the discomfort out of the room, okay? I want to say what's obvious. She has rainbow hair. Oh my God. What is she? Who is she? What is, okay. Let's adjust with acclimation. Yes, acclimate, because I am you. My heart will beat inside your chest just like yours will. In mine, we are no different. We are the same. That being the case, understanding that I have proven my leadership in the community, I am here to service. And by the way, at the cherry on top of the sundae, I will be the first ever African European American to ever represent us in Orange County Legislature for state Sacramento. How about that? We are excited. So in a year, in a presidential election year, 2024, where many people are afraid of what is going to happen at the top of the ticket, Orange County is in a very, very important decision to be able to be a beacon of light to the rest of the nation. Orange County has developed a bit of a reputation, although we're just down the 405 freeway from Los Angeles, of not being a place that's welcome to all. But we have an opportunity to prove otherwise. We have an opportunity to put ourselves where we say we are. We are Democrats. We believe in equity. We believe in being an egalitarian system where everyone has an opportunity to have a voice. And if that is the case, then I'm asking you to step up, to step with me, to walk with me, to stand with me, to believe in me, because I'm going to tell you something. I'm a healer. When I say that, I'm going to tell you what that means. I'm someone that likes to sit down with people, look at people. I'm a life coach, talk to people, and understand where they come from, who they are, see them, not what they look like. That is so elementary in concept. That's so elementary. To judge someone just because of the color of their skin, because of how they talk, because of the step in their foot and how they walk. That is ignorant by definition. So I am here because I've been called to be here. You see, everyone told me to stop when I was running for Congress. Oh, stop, it's too early, get someone else. If I would have stopped, I wouldn't have been in a position to do something I didn't expect to do, which is to run for state assembly. And I'm doing it because I love you. Oh, she said that word. She said that word, Louise. She said that word. I love you. I love my fellow man and woman and any other gender orientation. I love you. And I'm here to give you the best that I can. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue to work this territory. We're gonna continue to build it up. We're gonna continue to turn over the payment and knock on doors. There were precincts in Lake Forest that we lost just by 7 votes. Why? We have to be out there knocking on the doors. Because we have to be out there doing the work. Diane Dixon will use her money as a shortcut, but please understand that I'm a representation of where our country is going. Please understand that the traditional mindset that we have held on to in politics must go down, and we must embrace the future for our children and our grandchildren. Please understand that I need you. And I'm not afraid to ask for your help and support. I don't just need you financially. I want your feet. I want your heart. I want your energy. Because money I can get over and over and over again from someone with deep pockets. But you know what I can't get again? I can't get back time and energy. None of you can get back time and energy. You cannot get that back. So I am asking you for the most valuable thing that you can possibly give, not just me, but your community, is your time and your energy. And as we do that, let it be known to all of your community members and everyone that you know that we are working hard, that we have someone who's a galvanizing figure who is able to go into the communities, and we are actually needing to reach 20,000 independent voters and moderate Republicans. And that's how we were able to win Laguna Woods. No one thought that those over the age of 65 would vote for me, and they did, and we won. So they will vote because they do hear reason. And they do hear someone who can bring economic prosperity. And the last point I'll leave with you is this. In the state legislature in Sacramento, Democrats have a supermajority. It is actually 80 to 18. Okay, so my opponent, she gives the argument, oh, you need me there because they're crazy, they're wackadoodle. See, California needs balance. That's what she says. Listen to what I have to share with you, and if you have Republican or moderate-leaning friends and family, talk to them. Here's what you're going to say. Don Jones is a Democrat. She's in the right party. Currently, in District 72, Diane Dixon, her job is to go into the state allocated funds and bring as much money as she can back to the district so we can make sure that our community stays exactly what we want it to be. She has not been doing that. Do you know what she's brought? $2.8 million. Patty Keisha Norris was last before the redistricting. This current state assembly person, do you know how much she's brought to one city? 60 million. And that's the response I get every time. It's because she's willing to work with the supermajority. And for someone like Diane, who's far right, who will try to make herself seem like she's not, but she is, she's not working with them. And you can see the proof is in the pudding. I will go back there. I have the relationships up and down. You see who's endorsed me on my website, and I will be able to bring us back double, triple that in less than a year because I'm in the right party. So economically, fiscally speaking, if you're a fiscal conservative, if one is, this makes sense. Okay, so I'm grateful to be with you tonight. I'm grateful to spend a few moments with you. If you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer. We're running a hard campaign on the ground. We're fighting, we're moving forward, and we're not going to give up, and we're going to win in November. And we're going to prove everyone who thinks otherwise wrong, because change often comes when we least expect it. And it often comes in a way. Here comes Louise. It often comes in a way. It often comes in a way and in a form that we least expected. And I look forward to serving you in Sacramento. Thank you.
Oh, yes, okay, so are there questions? No questions, yes.
Where can we get your, son? Yes. Thank you, Louise. Yeah, they're on the wall. So Richard, he, by the way, everyone clap for Richard, please. Campaign manager extraordinaire. So these are our yard signs, and if you notice, our colors are blue for us Democrats, of course, but if you notice, it's yellow, golden on the outside. And you know why? Can I just geek out with you a little bit? It's because the yellow, the gold, represents the light that lives inside of all of us. Yeah, and then do you see there's a little red heart across an ocean? Do you know what the red heart stands for? A little space in our heart, Republicans. It's small. I know some Democrats wouldn't want it very big. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. You can get these from us, and here's our strategy, by the way. Throughout the year, you know, we can't have our signs all over until we can get closer to the election. But what we can do is have them pouring all over yards. So what I'm asking you, we brought plenty for any of you at every table, take them with you, put them on your yard and let people know who's running this election. So you can get them from Richard, that's for sure.
Okay, we did talk about pancake breakfast. And you want to talk about renewals, membership renewal? Membership renewal is really important in this club because it's a substantial source of our funds that we give to candidates. So we need people to be renewing.
So as of now, we're up to 385 members. I know we can get that easily over 400, and my goal for this year was 500, so we'll see if we can do that or not. We did a phone tree, had some very good results. Louise sent out a personalized letter to all the people who hadn't joined after the phone tree. And so they're still coming every day, I mean, literally every day I get a little blue thing that says somebody else has joined. Four more since that one. Okay, so now we're 389. Oh, close. So, yes.
Me too.
You too. Oh, you're renewed, okay. Congratulations. All right. So, anyway, it's really, really important if you know somebody that used to join, to encourage them to renew again, because those are a lot of things. A lot of people sometimes will say, well, I can't come to the meetings. And I say, that doesn't matter if you ever come to a meeting or not, because consider your donation a donation to a candidate that's running for local office. And that's your way that you can do that to help. So, yeah, I guess that's
Okay,
about
and
it.
you
Oh,
want
and then in May, we're doing Arduin Foundation, which helps foster youth.
For those of
obviously.
you who are new, we collect something at every meeting to give to a community outreach or charity program. And so we announce it at this meeting, and then you bring it to the next meeting, and there's a person out there in front to collect it and deliver it.
Right. So like this year, we've done like Laura's house and Silverwood Marks, the marketplace at the high school. And so it's going to be for Orangewood, and they're going to be, they need actually groceries, any kind of, you know, items that would be sustainable and could be on a shelf, hygiene products, clothing, and back to school supplies. Okay, thank you.
At the last meeting, there was so much stuff, they had to bring 3 cars to carry it away. It was really amazing. Okay, so we're a big club and we cover a lot of territory. So one of the ways we stay in touch with all of the communities is by having focus groups in those various communities. So some of the communities have very active focus groups. We are still looking for a focus group leader in Laguna Hills. That's the area outside of Laguna Woods. And there's quite a bit of territory there. So if you know somebody who wants to get involved, this would be the perfect thing that we need. We're going to have 2 of our focus group folks come up and speak. Let's start with Suzanne. Come on up. She's our newest focus group lead, and she's in the Coto de Casa and Ladera and unincorporated areas.
You're having me follow Dom.
Nobody can follow Dawn.
Well, I'm thrilled to be the new leader for. I'm thrilled to be the new leader for the unincorporated areas, but we've changed the name to Coto Ladera. It just sounds so much better than unincorporated. We're not on anything whatsoever. So if you're in any of these following areas, I'd love to have you part of our group. So Coto de Casa, Dove Canyon, Ladera Ranch, Covenant Hills, Las Flores, Silverado Canyon, Stone Cliff, Trabuco Canyon, Majeska Canyon, and Wagon Wheel. And you'll say, well, what do I do with that? What is the purpose of this? Well, we have a lot of fun, but we also do meaningful things as well. First thing that we do is that we keep informed about the important things that are affecting our community. I attend the Board of Supervisors meetings, so you don't have to, or better still, if you'll come with me, we'll have a lot of fun. We get a feel for what's happening in the, you know, don't you? A lot of what I find really interesting about the Board of Supervisors meetings is that, forgive me, someone I'm not sure who I'm apologizing to, the crazies come out. But there is merit to listening to the crazies, because that is the undercurrent of what we're fighting. So I tend to share with the folks in my focus group what I'm hearing the locals complaining about. What we also do with this is we send out an email to people that are part of this group to share what is happening. Also invite you to action should you wish to do that. We also, through our focus groups, we report back to leadership. Here are the things that we're seeing that we want to keep an eye on. In addition to that, we have social events, which is so much fun. We just had one very recently, and I think another focus group member will speak to that. But we have fun, we get to know each other, and it's like-minded people in your community. And I see this group of ladies over here at this table. That's the type of thing that we do, is we get people together and we get them to take action. Oh, may I give my, for those of you who'd like to take my email address? It's right up on the screen.
I had a question. You were talking about the Board of Supervisors,
Yes,
whereas all the other focus groups are cities,
yes,
and they have mayors.
yes.
So is it fair to say that the Board of Supervisors is your mayor, right?
That is exactly it.
Okay,
Yes.
and that's why it's so important that you're connected with the Board of Supervisors.
Absolutely. Thank you for clarifying that.
Cindy Ashley is the RSM.
Yes. So we had, as Tammy said, we had a win in RSM, and I wanted to make it relevant for everybody so that we can learn from it. So as she said, the city council decided to put a museum in our community center. They never said why there was going to be a space available, and that is and one of our members said that's where the Boys and Girls Club is. So fast forward to Wednesday, because I have 3 minutes, public comment amount of time. We got it on the agenda. And when I say we, it's not just us, it's the parents, other community members that we spread the message to. So this was a win for our community, not like the Democrats, but because we care about the community and the kids. So I wanted to just talk about like what worked, so we can learn from that. It was doing everything. So we engaged with directly impacted residents, the parents. We used every communication channel. We have a member, Nina, who's not here, unfortunately, who's just like a master grassroots organizer on Facebook. Instagram, using our city's hashtag. I made some like news reports because we don't have a local newspaper, and said, what they were doing, what the city council was doing. And showing up week after week to city council meetings, wasn't a big group until Wednesday. And we had a specific first ask, put it on the agenda, right? We knew unless you put it on the agenda, you cannot have a conversation, you cannot hear from them. So size matters. So we, on Wednesday, we had, I think, at least 150 people.
Oh, no.
It was more than- Well, I mean, I don't know exactly.
At least 300 people in there.
Yeah.
Only because I know classroom size, and so I do things according to that.
I'll take it. I mean, some of us showed up for redistricting. What, 15 of us showed up, maybe at most 10, and for other issues. This is what matters. This is what got their attention, and they had a vote at the end of the day, and they changed their minds, and they said 4-1, we don't want to kick out the club. And they need to go.
We were in shock. We stormed out. We were in BJ's listening. We couldn't believe it. But it was, they need to vote on it officially, you know, when it's all written up. So it's not over till it's over. So we need to show up again. But thank you for your time.
And for those of you who are new, that follows on what happened in Mission Viejo, where we took them, they were taken to court by people in Mission Viejo, and the city lost and had to pay over $1 million to our attorneys. Because they lost, and they wouldn't give up until the bitter end.
Lost what?
$1 million.
No, what was the case about?
It was over the issue.
They extended their terms.
Right, they decided not to hold an election when they should have held one. Don't tell me they couldn't do it, they did, okay? They did. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to let you know, Andy, who is the overall chair of the focus groups, had everybody writing postcards, against guns. Those were delivered to, young Kim, and you can see her holding the little bag with all of our cards in it. And Andy said she practiced what we learned from one of our speakers, to smile and be cordial. So she was smiling and being cordial while she gave the message that we were all very unhappy with young Kim's vote on guns. Okay, so, field team has been busy. I'm chair of field team. I don't want to be chair of field team, but I am. We did the spring postcard drop off, and you can see the postcards that everybody wrote, thanking voters who went to the polls in March. And we did that because we want to reinforce that they need to vote again in November. So we had 28 volunteers in 23 precincts. And they delivered all these postcards. Yes, Sarah's the postcard lady.
We have 31 people.
Okay, see, I sent you this and you didn't update it, girl.
No, I was kind of later.
Oh, okay.
And if anybody wants to pick up postcards, I have another thing.
Yay, okay. So we're still out there delivering these postcards.
Don't have to knock, you're just dropping at Democrat doors, everybody's happy, it's,
Yeah, you're not, yeah. So we are very busy expanding the reach of the number of volunteers we have on the field team organizing group, so that we're going to be setting it up like we do the focus groups by community. And that is underway, and all of us are going for training in PDI, which is the database that's used to track voters in California. And so we're very busy organizing ourselves, and then we're going to be coming back after the pancake breakfast to get everybody walking and dropping off stuff again. So stay tuned for the field team. And Marty is out of town, and Melora's going to report on fundraising, and I'll move the slides.
Thanks, Louise. Thanks for your help earlier too.
Yeah.
And thanks to everybody that got pizza tonight. We really want to thank you. And we made about, yeah, thank you. There you go. And we made about $260 tonight on pizza once we took it out. That's pretty good. So thank you for eating. Our sustaining donors. Right now, we've got 67 members that are sustaining donors. For those of you that are maybe newer and you haven't heard, the sustaining donors is somebody that signs up to donate money every month, and you can make it be whatever amount you want it to be. And we have that constant income coming in. And as of today, we've got $5,477 is what the sustaining donors have brought in. We have been doing a thank you for the sustaining donors. We're gonna get one squeezed in this year because we really want to say thank you to everybody. We always do a nice little event. So there's a really good reason to be a sustaining donor. You get to come to the party. But we don't know if I just came up with this idea tonight. Maybe we should wait till after the election, so in November. So, but we will keep you all posted on that. Let's see. Okay, so the change for change. We've been doing the change for change. You see it, bring in your change if you have is leftover change. We're gonna start doing that every few months. I think we're gonna do it again in June. So save your pennies and then bring them and throw them in the change for change jar. And that's just like kind of free money that you guys were giving us, and it's appreciated. It adds up. Let's see. Oh, great job too. Where's Patty Eval? Great. Our merchant maven back there. She's our merchandise maven. they did a thing on, was it Saturday? They did a thing Saturday. I got my weekend was all kind of messed up. They did a little rally and a sales booth and they made $604. So thank you. And then she had some helpers. She had Ellen, raise your hand. Where's Ellen? Nina, Cindy, and Tasia also helped her. So thanks to everybody. That's great. So that they guys did a great job. Anybody has a cruise back there? We've got some holidays coming up like Mother's Day. My birthday's in June. Okay, we got ice cream, our ice cream social's coming up. So our ice cream social will be, it's gonna be on a Sunday. Get it? June 9th. That's actually not intentional. June 9th, it's gonna be here at the Murray Center. It's gonna be starting at 3:30. So to sign up and get tickets, you need to sign up in advance, get your tickets. And so you can do that online. We don't have it, where's Cindy? We don't have that up. Do we have that up yet? No, not yet. It'll be up in the next couple of days. So, but we got some time. So it'll be online. And so go ahead and sign up there. And the reason we want you to sign up is because we got to know how much ice cream to buy. Okay. So that's important. Let's see. I think the ticket price is going to be $20 again. So we have something new that you haven't maybe heard about yet. It's coming up in September on the 6th. It's gonna be Meet the Blue Crew. It's a tacos with the candidates. So we're gonna be inviting all of our local area candidates to come. We're gonna let them set up booths. You can get a chance to talk to them, pick up signs. It's maybe an opportunity for them to do a little push kind of at the end to maybe get some more donations from you. So, and then we're gonna give everybody a little chance to talk. So that'll be a fun evening. We're gonna do it here at the Murray Center. We're gonna have a taco guy. And so it should be a really nice, pleasant, fun evening. So I think that's about all we've got, and we'll keep you posted. We just got invited by the new Central Orange County Club, it used to be Tustin Democrats, to do a picnic with them this summer. So we will be getting back with you and something to do with another club. And that'll be like a kind of a fun thing, but we'll be getting back with you on that. So thanks, everybody.
Patty, yes, what?
We're gonna do another booth the day before Mother's Day.
Oh, fabulous. Okay, we gotta get that on the schedule.
And you guys all know where that's at, right? You wanna tell everybody, Patty?
It's in front of the Sprouts on Portola Parkway, across from Sprouts.
It's over by the high school,
By the high school.
by Tribeca Hills High School over in that area.
Sprouts side of it. And
Yeah.
usually we have it from 9 to 3.
Yeah, so
On
it's a good,
Saturday.
so there you go, do some shopping. My birthday's in June. Thank you.
We'll get all these things up on the slide on the website so you can see it. And I forgot one more thing. For the field team, to get ready to walk, we need bags like this to give the walkers. So if you have any of these paper, cloth bags with nice handles like this, put them in my tub and I'm collecting them so we don't have to buy them. Okay, so, Herb, do you want to talk about the speaker for May, or should I just show the slide and talk about it? Where's Herb? I saw you come in.
Yeah.
Here you go. Herb is the chair of our program committee.
Next door. The speaker for May, I think is going to be particularly relevant to this group. And the reason for that, it's a UCI professor who's deemed that Orange County is just one county in all of the United States that is labeled purple. So the concept is get out the vote to win the election. What is this club all about? And what he's going to present is the statistics that will explain why he deemed Orange County purple. And I think you'll be convinced and motivated to come out and listen to what he has to say. John Gould is his name, Dean John Gould.
Okay. Let me get out of this. Okay. Go ahead.
So tonight, we're fortunate to have a motivational speaker representing the League of Women Voters. She is funny, but with a serious message. She previously talked about another serious subject called cancer. But tonight, it's going to be about politics and the idea that there is truth decay in the political messages that we get. And what she's going to explain is what she means by truth decay. Trudy Josephson.
Thank you, Herb.
So I think it's the down arrow.
Okay, well, we're gonna practice here.
Okay.
So first of all, I'm delighted to be here. And, like the other lady said, I'm following a lot of energy. And I don't know what you drink there, Dawn, but I like a glass. Because I am like at the other end of the spectrum. Because first of all, I'm old. And I read. I don't just, yeah, whatever. And so you were dynamic and I.
Take it right now.
Mark will plenty here. And I talk a lot slower. So we've got that. So I just work this, so can you all see?
Yes.
Okay, and we decided that the background is supposed to be blue. So I'm going to tell you as we go along the colors, because you're not gonna, you have to imagine it, because on my screen, it looks really pretty. So,
Yeah, but we can read this.
yeah, but you know what, I don't have. Been with me here. Look at that.
Yeah, we're gonna, raise a little fuss with the facility here about the quality of our bulb in this projector, but we gotta live with it for tonight.
Well, I'm good friends with the chairman of the recreation department, so I am definitely gonna let him know. Okay,
Excellent.
yeah, so,
Okay.
okay, got it. Okay, so now I got my notes. Oops, all God's children have notes.
Maybe that one.
Yeah,
What's the one that much?
let's see. We're good. Okay, I think we're good. All right. Well, we'll get there. Oh, one more thing. One more thing. Don't go away. This is kind of important. I think it's important. Where are you here? I needed a sign.
It says misinformation, MISS.
Yeah, it should say MS, misinformation. If you need me to duck so I can, let me know.
No.
Okay. So as I've been introduced, I'm representing the League of Women Voters. And for those of you that aren't aware, the League is a nonpartisan organization of women and men that believes that the right to vote is a nonpartisan issue. Founded in 1920, our ongoing major activities have been registering voters and providing voter information and advocating for voting rights. So for more than a century, this is what we've been up to. So. Down. Wait. There. So. The name of the talk is Truth Decay, Combating Disinformation. And thank you all for being here tonight. I know I am a surprise speaker. I thought when you asked, why did you come? Why did you come tonight? I thought you were gonna say, we want to hear the speaker. But, but I'm a substitute, so we'll see what this answer is after the fact. Anyway, we're gonna talk about some important issues here, particularly the disinformation that's coming into your lives. That I hope that you will be invigorated to share this information with family and friends and neighbors and what have you, once you've learned what I'm going to talk about tonight. First, I want to start with a couple of questions and get a sense of why you came other than to see the other speaker. And then we'll examine of what truth decay is and why it's coming into our lives and what we can how we can deal about it. So are you ready?
Yeah.
Good deal, okay. And so I want to give you a definition of what we're talking about here. These are the different forms of information, disinformation, and pollution, actually. So misinformation means sharing false information without the intent of harm. Disinformation is creating and sharing false information with the intent of harm. And then there's something called malinformation, which is sharing accurate information, but it's meant to harm because of it, either leaks or harassment or it's out of context. So for simplification for this presentation, I'm going to put the malinformation and disinformation together as one. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so first question here. How many of you feel like you've been manipulated by disinformation? Anybody? A couple of you? You can raise your hand if you want. Yeah. Everybody in the room? Yeah. Well, how are you feeling about that? Do you see anything on the screen that makes you think? Angry. Well, let's explore why this is happening. There's no denying that our politics in this 21st century have been tumultuous here and abroad. We're probably more polarized than we've been in decades, including distrust in so many things, including our healthcare, our institutions, our politicians, the government, sometimes one another, and the news. We can't distinguish. If we can't distinguish, it creates confusion and misunderstanding about important social and political issues. So now, I want to give you a quiz. This obviously doesn't show up very well because of the projector, but what I want to start off with is knowing if you're talking with family and friends about disinformation, would you feel confident? So this is a 4 or 5 questions. Like, would you feel mostly or a little bit confident or somewhat confident or mostly or really confident? How many of you feel like you're really, really confident about this topic? Any hands? Okay, great, great. How about the other extreme? Not so confident. 1 person, 2 people, okay, 3 people. You're not confident at all. Okay, so let's hope that we can bring that competency up tonight, okay? Is everybody, and the rest of you are somewhere in between?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. So what concerns you most about the disinformation in regards to our 2024 election? Any of these things strike? All of the above? Anything that isn't on that list? Yeah.
People are gonna vote based on emotion, based on disinformation.
People are going to vote based on an emotion rather than information. Yes.
Do.
That voting by mail isn't safe.
That voting by mail is not safe. We've heard enough of that, haven't we?
Yeah.
Anybody else? Yes.
Voter intimidation at the polls.
Voter intimidation at the polls, and maybe a lack of poll workers because of that as well, right? Yeah, so.
Lack of polling.
Okay, so that's great. We've got something to work with, and so we want to maybe find out what we do about that, right? So disinformation leads to truth decay. Wait a minute. There we go. Yeah, by creating greater disagreement about facts, driving cycles of fear and polarization, creating declining trust and respect to sources. And of course, that's how we get these poor decisions. So the more, this is really important, the more aware we are of disinformation, the better prepared we are to call it out and share it with others. And that's what I want to convince you guys that we need to be doing. Remember Walter Cronkite? The man that used to read us the news?
Yeah.
And we believed everything he said, right?
Yeah.
Well, back then, in the Neolithic times, we had 3 television news stations. And now we have a gazillion, 24/7. And news is coming at us fast and furiously. And we have news breaks every few seconds, right? So that's one of the problems. Because the TV stations need our eyeballs to get their advertising dollars. And so that's why they're always sending us stuff that's gonna set our hair on fire. So little wonder that we're bombarded with all of this information. I mean, breaking news is breaking news, and I have to admit that I, for one, have been rolled into watching those car chases on Channel 5. I mean, I get so exasperated with myself, like, I mean, they go on forever, and then you never know. And then it's time for the news to go off, and you have no idea what happened to that guy. So, the outrage is getting lots of views, and that's where we are with that as well. But trust is necessary when choosing our news sources. That's a real key thing here, boys and girls. So we need to fight truth decay. And I need to be more coordinated. So where do we find that trust? What is news hygiene? Well, it's being sure our source material is as clean and unbiased as possible. Any news source with credibility, integrity, and accuracy relies on facts.
The Fox News is out.
We'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get to that. It's in a time where not all news is based in truth, it's crucial to grasp the basics of fact checking when consuming our media. Our challenge is to find accurate sources. The habit of lateral reading is a good one to develop. Any of you do that? You know what I'm talking about with lateral reading?
Yep.
Well, Herb does, because I'm. Okay, great. Well,
What is that?
I'm gonna get into that as we go along. Yeah, I want to keep you interested. So, it's basically verifying your information as you're reading it, searching for the information as the story is coming into your eyesight. And trusting sources is critical in our news consumption these days. For any of you that are unclear about this lateral reading, as I say, I'll cover that as we go along. So what are the motives here of disinformation? No, I've got behind my slide here. This year, dozens of countries will go to the polls. Many will not have the fact-checking filters that we do here. These elections will test even the most robust democracies. So buckle up, boys and girls, because in 2024 will be a plethora of false news, political stories, and ads from all over the place. This all can be quite confusing. And of course, the intent is to change our minds. It's also to get our money. Some will be outrageous stories and need to be fact-checked, and motivation will be strong since we are so polarized. Why do we believe in disinformation? Any ideas on that one?
Informational bias. Yeah.
Okay, great.
What they're saying goes with our worldview.
Worldview.
I think also when people buy into, let's say, the MAGA stuff, and they keep going deeper and deeper and deeper into it, when they're presented with information that proves that it's false, they are so emotionally attached to it that they can't get out. I mean, it destroys everything they believe in, and so they have to continue to go forward with it.
Yeah, I always think how embarrassing it would be to admit that you made that kind of
Exactly.
mistake. Yeah, yes, sir.
Also, it's a form of power. There's a lot of people who don't have power in their lives, over their own lives. And believing in something like this gives them that.
So the question is, how do you give them the power so they don't have to believe in?
Those people
And
do
stuff.
not.
So there are many reasons why we fall subject to false information, our biases. Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, I wanted to say that years ago, we placed our faith in the three major networks,
Yeah,
and they all had a policy that the news was not a profit center.
Yeah.
And that changed many years ago.
so for those of you that didn't hear that, it's about the change, as I said in the beginning, we went from 3 networks to a gazillion,
Yeah.
and the profit center became,
Unfortunately, the 3 are still around, and their loyalty to the truth is overcome by breaking news.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's completely irrelevant news that they generally speak about. And
so can you all hear him? Can you all hear what he just said?
in much of the country, particularly in small pockets, that's all they're getting. Is
Yeah.
news that isn't bound by the truth.
And who owns the local stations? Well, the other thing is that instead of combating disinformation, the major networks, they should present both sides. To be fair and equal.
Okay, well, I want to bring us back to my point of view, which is that our own biases play a role here too. It's not just the right that has biases, and our biases affect our information consumption. We pay attention to what we believe, and we don't pay attention to what, even if it's something that might be logically true, if it doesn't fit into our bias, we're not going to pay attention to it. So it's a two-way street. So I just want us to be really aware of that.
Yeah, give me an example.
We'll talk later. We'll talk later. Yeah.
No, Democrats are just filled with people who want to argue, and that's healthy.
So I shouldn't have opened it up to you. My technique is very wrong here. Is that what you're saying? Well, the League of Women Voters is nonpartisan, and so I try to kind of keep a straight and narrow, because if there were any Republicans in the room, are there any Republicans in the room? No. Okay.
We actually have some Republican members.
Oh, yeah, great. Well, so shame on me for assuming, yeah. Anyway, it's really interesting for us to get in touch with what our biases are. And it's good to recognize when we're consuming something ourselves. We are predisposed to believe ideas that align with our political beliefs and social values. We're likely to side with a story that agrees with our beliefs, even if our gut tells us it isn't true. We are less likely to question the evidence. This is how fake news tricks us. We search for information that reaffirms opinions and tune out information that does not. Are you on board for that? Yeah, okay, good. I like it when you agree with me.
Yeah.
It's really helpful. Okay. See if this one came up. So this is emotional manipulation. The most effective disinformation campaigns can trigger powerful emotions, making logic difficult to overcome. After all, pardon the phrase, emotions trump logic. And let's think about that. Misleading messages often strike an emotional chord with each of us, making us angry or fearful. if this happens, we need to take a step back and consider why the message makes us feel that way. And if those emotions risk clouding our critical thinking. Where do we get our information? There are many reasons why we fall subject to false information. Wait a minute. Sorry. I'm not doing a good job here. Okay. Online social media leads the pack where fake news is overwhelmingly web-driven. Misinformation runs rampant on social media, largely due to the speed and scale in which it is shared. On social media, false claims spread so much faster that fact-based news, it is digested to grab attention and appeal to emotions, often provoking anger or fear. Over half of Americans get their news over a digital platform. More than a quarter of the world's population uses YouTube. 3 billion with a B plus are on Facebook. Consumers, especially those 40 and under, prefer getting information from online sources. This does not include online newspapers, which people of all ages read. So how many of you have grandkids that get their news from their phones? Yeah. Have you talked to them about that? You have one person? You don't have a grandchild?
No.
You're not fooling me.
I have a son, he's 14.
Yeah, okay, well, let's hope he hasn't produced any offspring.
Doing on their phone.
Say it again.
How many people know what their kids are doing on their?
How many people know what their children are doing with their phones? Yeah. Well,
You have an app, you know what your kids are doing. You can follow what they.
my new question to everybody is how do you consume your news? And actually, that question is coming up right now.
I know you said it was just kids, but I have found that most adults over 40 are getting their news consumption or their beliefs from social media. It's super scary. Like, and they'll say anything, and it's really bad. I mean, I think Trump can get a significant amount of credit for fake news. That wasn't a term that I remember as a kid.
Oh, fake news has been, misinformation has been around for centuries.
But actually,
Well, yes, yes. Yeah, he kind of coined it and called it his own. So let's have this question. How do you folks get your news? What are your news sources? Shout some things out to me.
Newspapers online.
Newspaper, NAR, online,
Newspapers online.
newspapers online,
Televised news.
television, televised news, MSNBC. How many watch Fox?
Everybody should.
The audience the other day, one man said Truth Social. Anybody? Anybody getting their news from Truth Social? Everybody in this one? Okay.
All day long.
Okay, well, the most trusted news comes from our own local newspapers, even those with an online presence.
Even the orange.
The media industry is suffering from lack of advertising and subscription. And as a result, these companies are laying off journalists at an alarming rate and shutting down their doors altogether. I personally support the Voice of OC.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm just so overwhelmed that the 26 Orange County cities are reporting on every one of them. And they do a pretty good job. But of course, with newspapers faltering, this is a serious situation for the country and as certainly for democracy. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. So how do we combat disinformation? Disinformation can be easily manipulated. Careful observation minimizes our emotional responses and carefully focuses on logic. Deep fakes and robocalls will be abundant. Be alert that the voice or image you hear and or see may very well be a deep fake. Go to a trusted website that can verify your concerns. These vetted websites will be discussed a little bit later. Examine the objectivity of the post. Understanding how the facts are reported is imperative. Is the reporting free of bias? Or do you feel the story is one-sided? Does the piece activate strong emotions like fear or anger? This would be a red flag. Strategies for action and a quick course in lateral reading. So consider the source. Does the URL look strange? Click on it for more information.
No.
No.
Well, no, click on
Oh,
where, if it came into your email.
yeah.
Click the About page on the source's website. Do you recognize the author? Google their name. Check the date. Is the story old news? Sharing out-of-date information may not match current events. Cross-check information. Are reputable news sources reporting the same story? Read past the headline. What's the whole story? Headlines don't always match the content. Question emotionally charged content. And another tip, and I hope you don't throw ripe fruit at me, but it's a good idea to get your news from varying sources, left, right, and center.
Yeah.
So you have an idea of what the other side is thinking and if their argument is valid, and even to have a conversation as opposed to just being so polarized, we have no idea.
We need to check Georgia newspapers. Don't be talking about US news as well.
Yeah, right. And many algorithms are driven by extremists promoting shocking claims.
No.
You didn't know that.
Ask a question? I haven't gone there and looked at it in a long time. Used to be fairly reputable. I have no idea whether it still is. Snopes.
Yeah, we're gonna get there.
Oh, okay.
Give me a minute. So, what in the world does an algorithm do? An algorithm is a detailed instruction that tells a computer what steps to take to solve a problem. Algorithms look for, learn from, and implement patterns. AI-powered algorithms on social media platforms can create echo chambers by showing users content that aligns with their existing beliefs and preferences. This can lead to polarization and reinforced biases, manipulating users' perspectives and limiting exposure to diverse viewpoints. And it can also keep showing you that same pair of shoes you once were interested in and weeks ago.
Trudy,
Yes, ma'am.
so you're saying it's gonna tailor it to the person, because they already know what they.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I mean, you must have had this happen that, yeah, I'm constantly getting stuff that pops up like, oh, I remember that blouse.
Yeah.
I mean, all of the stuff you've been looking at, it's like it saves it, and then all of a sudden, there it is again.
But then the news stories too. You're saying that about the news.
Well, it's about everything.
Yeah.
It's really kind of frightening when you think that it collects all of this information about us and it's Big Brother. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm not one to scare the holy bejeters out of you, because I don't even know where your holy bejeters are, but I'm just saying, yeah, right. Okay, so become your own information detective. Facts are based on verifiable resources. They don't need to play on your emotions to get a reaction. Remember what your biases are. What topics set your hair on fire? The upcoming presidential election will occur within a fast-paced and sometimes unwieldy news cycle. Incorporating a fact-checking routine will add balance to your news consumption. Fact checking can build a renewed sense of critical thinking. Practice lateral reading and don't believe everything you see or hear. Be your own detective and follow the trail. And also, the last sentence, that politics has become more performative, loud, and extreme. And we're seeing that now in Congress. I mean, they can't get a damn thing done. They're just too busy being loud and extreme. And it just really makes you wonder, my tax dollars are paying for these crazy people. Yes.
I was gonna say, one nice rule of thumb and an easy way to, fact check things is, you know, you hear a lot of headlines, you hear a lot of speeches and sound bites of this is gonna happen and this is gonna happen and all these, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do that. But the thing to look for is what they're actually, do they pass a bill or not? Do they vote for a bill or not? That they've said that they were gonna vote for it and then they don't vote for it.
Yeah.
Are they writing up bills? Are they actually taking the action they say they're gonna take? Or they're just saying it and not doing it?
Okay, you gave me way too much information to repeat. Everybody tell me they heard her, right? Oh, thank God. No. And so how do you do your fact checking on that?
Well, a lot of times when it comes to the elections, what are the boards of Congress, whether it's state or federal, they're public record, they're on C-SPAN.
Okay,
For federal, so
yeah, so I didn't hear anybody mention C-SPAN, but some of you watch C-SPAN?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, so that's one way you can check how things are being done. And when they promise something in a campaign,
Yeah,
well, a year later, if they've gotten in, they do it. Maybe they do the exact opposite, or did they switch parties right after election, which is happening? Yeah. So those are the kinds of things that sometimes, in the end, what.
we can't, the bottom line is you're saying we can't trust these crazy people,
No.
something like that, right? I'm paraphrasing. Okay, next one. Okay, this is fun. Beware of fake or misleading headlines. Anybody fallen victim to this stuff?
Yeah.
So it's, the first one says immigrants arrested for starting the California wildfire. Not quite, an immigrant was arrested, but was found not guilty. On the moon landing, it says that this couldn't have happened because the American flag was waving in the wind. And of course, that works for me. It says, sorry, I'm reading it because I'm not sure if you can see it. Zelensky purchased 2 luxury yachts with American aid money. Poor guy can't get any aid money now, and maybe they think that was true, but it wasn't. He didn't purchase 2 lots. This one up here in the corner, this is kind of fun. This was an Instagram, an artificially generated doctor claimed in a video that grinding, you might want to take this down, grinding 7 almonds, 10 grams of sugar candy, and 10 grams of fennel taken over 40 days every evening with hot milk will heal any kind of brain disease. The account had over 200,000 followers, and the video was watched over 86,000 times. I can think of somebody we could send that recipe right off the top of my head. And, oh yeah, by the way, Dewey did not win the presidency. So there's that. Now, this is about fake news websites. Have any of you encountered a fake news website that you want to talk about? No, thanks. So, the one up there, the ABC News, if you look carefully, it says .com.co.
Oh.
And I guess we all know about InfoWars is connected to Alex Jones. And we know how lovely he is. The Christian Times newspaper, that's an interesting one.
Never heard.
Yeah, well, this because it was created by a 23-year-old new college grad wanting to fund his student loans. He published an article about rigged election ballots. It was shared 6 million times, and it garnered him thousands of dollars in ad revenue for just that one article. Dom, are you paying attention? Fake news website. Okay, lots of money coming in. So fortunately, some of these websites are no longer here, but just be aware that sometimes they look real. Oh, and then I happened to find this Joe Biden one. I don't know why the screen is funny, because we only have half a Joe. But this is a parody, and I was looking for something else, and I found this, and I had my computer shut down. It was scarier than hell. I thought, oh, I'm not supposed to be doing that. Okay, so artificial intelligence. AI might just be our most worrisome issue in the disinformation challenge. A few weeks ago, the European Union approved the world's first AI regulations amid concerns that the quickly developing technology would pose risks to humanity. That's from Forbes magazine. The huge advancements in AI technology has led to significant uses in various industries, including healthcare, entertainment, finance, and transportation. How many of you use Siri or Alexa? Yeah, I love my Alexa. How many of you have self-driving cars? Nobody? One guy. Okay. The speed and ease of AI has intensified and makes the impact on society both exciting and challenging. Generative AI models are themselves a huge target for disinformation and manipulation, as we learned 2 slides back. Okay, you can't even see this one because the color's bad. You can't see that that's LeBron all decked out in a pink skirt and top. And it says he's ready for the Barbie movie. Yeah, well, that shows you how long ago I put this slide deck together. So AI images have become increasingly common. They are concerns that no amount of safeguards can prevent such technology from being used maliciously. Noting that deep fakes, which is a cutting edge application of AI, to create videos that purport to show someone doing or saying something they didn't actually do or say. And these deep fakes have the potential of creating a wealth of fake information about individuals, many who will be running for office. It's usually quite difficult for an ordinary person to detect this new tool to disinform. Manipulated images and videos surrounding elections are nothing new, but 2024 will be the first US presidential election in which sophisticated AI tools can quickly produce convincing fakes and are just a few clicks away from streaming on the web or getting to us in other ways. Misleading information intends to sow division by getting us angry or sad through images or memes. This election cycle will be more advanced technology that will offer us things we've never experienced before. I was pretty amazed just with the primary, how many horrible things were coming into my mailbox just about every other day. I don't know if you had it in this neck of the woods, but where I am, it was really good. So this reverse image search Does anybody know about does anybody use reverse image search? Okay, just a few. So what do you use your reverse image search for?
To convince my mother that somebody was romance scamming her,
To convince your mother that what?
that someone was romance scamming her.
Oh my God, somebody was romance scamming her.
So I
She live in Newport Beach, is she that lady?
found the real person and had to do that to convince my mother. that-
Oh my gosh, I just look up plants. I just look it up to find out what the name of the plant is. I'm not, anybody else? Nobody, did you have your hand up? It's not as exciting as that, is it?
Just to validate, so if there's a fire and things are burning, did that really happen in Ukraine or was it Russia?
Wow.
20 years ago.
You guys are so cool. Wow. Okay, good. Well, so now you know, you can just, all three of these do, and do you have a favorite? Lady that's looking up her mother, to protect your mother? The lady that's protecting her mother, do you have a favorite?
Oh, I use Google.
Google, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
What is, what's reverse?
well, you have an image of something. Like I said, I can talk about plants. I'll take a picture of a plant in somebody's garden. And then I'll go and do a search and find out what the name of it is. And then I'll go to the nursery and maybe buy it, maybe not. You know, I think she's putting photographs in to find out if the guy is a
Yeah,
real.
I pulled the photograph from his Facebook page and then I did a reverse Google search and I found out the guy is actually in Australia and is a completely different.
And he's
person.
married and has 15 children. And so she's protecting her mom from cats. I'm just looking for plants. I don't have.
Like Google Translate.
Okay, so now what? What are we gonna do now? News that is accurate, accountable, and ethically produced is what we want to be reading. Fake news thrives during times of strong emotions, and boy, don't we have that now. Unless you are positive that something is factual, please do not forward it. Please do not be part of the problem. So this is a slide I happened upon while I was putting this program together. I was doing research and I found this accidentally. It is from Ad Fontes Media. And this is how they describe themselves in part. Misleading, inaccurate, and highly polarizing media cannot, polarizing media content has been driven that so many of us have driven so many of us apart. This affects everything from our familiar relationships to our ability to create legislative solution to our biggest challenges. At the heart of what Ad Fontes Media does is look at the sources, analyze the way content itself is, and order and to rate it. The top is, and if anybody, I should have said this from the beginning, if anybody wants to take photographs of these slides, you're welcome to do so. This doesn't repeat very well, but at the very, very top, it shows you the media that they recommend most highly, and it is Pew Research Center, followed by Stars and Stripes, followed by Frontline, PBS. Then we've got ABC, BBC, Cal Matters, Scripps News. And then as you get further down towards the base of the pyramid is sources that don't have any credence whatsoever. So they say. So it's a real interesting website, and they look at print media, they look at podcasts, television news, all kinds of different things. And what I liked about it is if you happen to be reading something and you don't know what their bias is, you can kind of just look at it on this chart and go like, wow, I had no idea. I had no idea that Alex Jones was that far off the mark.
What is the name of that?
And it's Ad Fontes, ADFONTES, Media. And you can just find that. Now, this is, again, if you want to take a picture of this, you're welcome to do so. This is, my resource guide. And a lot of these are really great ways to do a fact checking, and also, I mentioned looking at other sources. All Sides and the Flip Side are two websites that are really good for that. So you can take a story like on All Sides, and it'll give you left, right, and center. You'll just pull up the story and it'll tell you what the left and how they, so, say, oh, interesting. So. Okay,
Can I ask you another?
Sure.
Wikipedia,
I use Wikipedia a lot.
Yeah.
It's not, a lot of people don't think it's
Careful.
kosher, as it were, but I don't know. I don't know anything that's replaced it so much, because you can just put your own,
Spin on it.
you can respond to it yourself. I'm pretty skeptical, but I don't know.
on Wikipedia, usually there are sources at the bottom. If you click on those and they're there, then it's probably legit. Sometimes people make up fake ones, but if they're there, you know, they've got at least that.
Good point. Did you hear that? Just check the sources at the bottom, right? Okay. So what have we learned? Have we changed our confidence anymore about the topic, our topic here?
Yeah.
How many people are more confident than they were when they sat down tonight? One lady, yeah, okay. Okay, great. Glad to hear that. Sometimes it's just knowing what's going on and how to deal with it. Remember, in the earlier slide, it stated that the more aware we are about disinformation, the better prepared we are to call it out and share that information with others. So I'm hoping that you guys can go away this evening from this presentation and be able to engage with other people about disinformation. I get questions from time to time about how do I talk to somebody else about this? How do I talk to somebody that's wearing a red shirt? This is somebody, you can talk to somebody with a red shirt, a blue shirt, a purple shirt about disinformation because it affects all of us. And the reason that I put this program together and I'm here tonight is because I want to encourage you all to have that discussion, because everybody needs to know about disinformation and how to protect themselves. So can I get an agreement that some of you will do that, or at least try to talk to a neighbor, or maybe your kids or your grandkids or somebody to start the dialogue, and then we can, get back to talking to one another again. That would be great. So. Okay, questions? Anybody have any questions? We had a lot of dialogue through here, but
You skipped a
You might
slide, up of that.
I'm sorry.
You skipped a slide, it looked like it had some resources on it. You had it up for just a second, then it went, before that one, I think. There we go.
I had that. Okay, anybody want to take a picture? I'm sorry that it's not in the center of the, somehow or another, the screen isn't big enough or something. Photo op. You want me in the picture? Please say no. Wait. Okay, now can I go ahead? It's okay, move forward? Yes. Okay, Q&A. Did we cover everything? Anybody have any questions?
Just another comment.
Yes,
You mentioned local news.
yes,
A lot of local news is owned by a company called Sinclair,
yes,
Yeah. They're
Yes.
very conservative.
yes,
and they can bias things.
yes.
It's
Well,
our Channel 5. Oh.
yeah, that's where they have the car chases. I know, I like that.
The car chase, stay away from 5.
Oh, stay away from 5? Oh, yes.
It's even worse than 5.
No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna sound like the old geezer I am, but he brought up Cronkite, and even local news had foreign information. Today, it seems all local news is, I don't care what channel, news, weather, and car chase of the day. I don't care whether channel 5, 74, 11, whatever.
I know, and they interrupt the programs all the time, don't they? Okay, so I want to call to your attention that we have a speakers bureau that offers other programs, which includes the book bans, the Constitution, women's suffrage, and in the fall, we will have pros and cons, which is our ballot measures. So when they have had the ballot measures in and they've had a chance to digest them, our expert volunteers, and then put it out in layman's terms, they will be available, and I hope maybe you will invite the league here to go over the pros and cons when we get closer to the election. And also, if you know somebody that would like to hear about disinformation, do get in touch. So, thank you all for being here tonight. I really, really appreciate your. You've had a great audience. It's been really fun. I didn't have to be too careful about what I said. And I hope you don't rat me out to the league. By the way, a couple of books that are really, really good, and Herb had mentioned this, that I don't know, did you do this with your club? Saving Democracy by David Pepper?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I get his emails, fabulous stuff. And, yeah, if you get started with that's a great book. And there's a lot of things out there that we can be participatory, but you guys are really doing a great job. So anyway, thank you so much.
Okay, folks, we will see you back here, for the pancake breakfast. And then for our meeting, which is always on the third Tuesday of every month. And have a great evening. Yes,
Can I make a official comment?
yes, Brian, what?
Yeah, how many of you have heard of the AirTag scam?
No, I heard.
It's the AirTag scam rather. Supposedly it is validated to have occurred in Huntington Beach. And what it is, the AirTag scam. The AirTag scam. Supposedly it is a surface in Huntington Beach. We don't know where else it might surface. And what it is candidates are taking yard signs, adding an AirTag to them,
Oh, yeah.
and then planting them where they shouldn't necessarily be. And then when somebody picks it up and tries to take it away or what have you, they trace it back, notify authorities, and get publicity against the person that had removed the yard sign that was never meant to be in the right place in the first place. And it's chewing up community resources. So just be aware that if you see a yard sign, it could have an AirTag in it.
Don't take anybody's yard signs that are not yours. Don't do that. Okay? Okay. It's called sniping and it's stupid.
Hello, everyone. We're gonna take we're gonna take a quick group photo right now, okay? With signs. So you can stay where you are, stand up, and then